Have you ever given someone a compliment only for it to go completely sideways? Well, I have, and let me tell you, it was one of the most bewildering experiences of my life. Picture this, a routine visit to the OBGYN, a setting where you'd least expect a casual compliment to turn into a full-blown misunderstanding. I'm a 32-year-old woman, and on this particular day, I found myself in the familiar, sterile room of my OBGYN's office. The air was filled with that unmistakable clinical scent, mingling with a hint of anxiety that always seems to accompany these appointments. As I waited for the doctor, a nurse came in to assist with the preliminary checks. This was not my first roadie at the doctor's office, but there was something different this time. The nurse assisting me had these incredibly defined arm muscles, the kind you'd notice on someone who clearly dedicates a significant amount of time to their physical fitness. In a world where we often hesitate to spread positivity, I decided to voice my admiration. "You have really nice arm muscles," I said, hoping to offer a compliment that would be taken as a sign of respect for her dedication and hard work. I expected maybe a shy smile, a humble thank you, or even a quick nod to acknowledge the compliment before moving on with the appointment. However, what followed was nothing short of shocking. The nurse's demeanor changed almost instantly. What I had intended as a simple, kind-hearted compliment seemed to bother her deeply. She launched into a passionate speech about how most people who work on themselves at the gym are dealing with serious mental health issues. They work out not for the sake of looking nice, less, she explained, but as a way to channel through their struggles. I was taken aback. My intention had been to admire her strength, both physical and the implied mental fortitude it takes to commit to such a regimen. I tried to clarify, to let her know that my comment came from a place of admiration for what I perceived as her dedication and strength. "I meant no harm," I told her, trying to smooth over the rapidly growing tension. "I simply admired you for looking strong." But my words seemed to only fuel her anger. She continued, her frustration apparent, and I, bewildered and uncomfortable, fell silent. The conversation, if it could even be called that at this point, was going nowhere, and I felt it was best to simply let the matter drop. I left the office that day with a mix of emotions swirling inside me. Confusion was at the forefront, closely followed by a tinge of sadness. It was an attempt at human connection, at breaking the monotony and, perhaps, the inherent tension of such appointments with a moment of lightheartedness. Instead, it had spiraled into a conversation that left me feeling awkward and unsure. Reflecting on the encounter, I couldn't help but wonder about the broader implications. The nurse's reaction highlighted a poignant reality. The interpretation of compliments is subjective, and behind every set of muscles, every seemingly superficial aspect of our appearance, there are stories, struggles, and sensitivities we may know nothing about. It was a reminder that what is intended as a positive interaction can sometimes open old wounds or touch on hidden insecurities. Yet, this experience hasn't deterred me from giving compliments or trying to find moments of connection with others, even in unlikely places. If anything, it has made me more mindful of the words I choose, reminding me that while the intention behind our words is important, the reception and perception of those on the receiving end hold equal weight. As I share this story with you, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation where a well-intentioned comment was taken in a way you didn't expect? How did it make you feel? And how did you navigate the aftermath? Let's open up a dialogue. Share your thoughts, experiences, and maybe even your own awkward encounters in the comments below. Sometimes it's through sharing our stories that we find common ground, understanding, and maybe even a little bit of healing.